Hey guys, welcome back to Micho Makes. My name is Micho. I like to make stuff. Today I've got part number 72 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. This is the 1/8 scale massive model that we're building together. Without further ado, let's just jump right into this one. Alright, starting off, we've got our cover here. Got our half box here today. Got our piece. And this looks like back paneling of the car itself. So this is where the back seats will be. And we've got our magazine. Alright, let's take a peek at the magazine. Alright, so looks like we have a issue on the timing and engine development of the AE86, and also just actually variable valve timing. So we have something here, and I'll let you guys Google Translate this a lot. I did take a peek before just to kind of see what the issue is about, kind of get a little bit educated myself. But a lot of it was about the development and introduction of VVT, variable valve timing, which basically, I'm not a mechanical engineer. I try to learn as much as I can, and I really should kind of wrap my head around this, but it allows economic driving at lower RPMs, so you have be pretty gas efficient at lower RPMs when you're just kind of commuting from A to B. But when you want to kind of be a little bit sporty and you're in a higher power band, it actually will improve the timing and actually hold open the intake and exhaust valves a little bit longer, which actually will increase horsepower too as well. So this is just a quick diagram of like how power cylinders and firing order are of different engines. And so the piston will go down during like an intake cycle, then gas will be introduced, which actually will be compressed, and then the spark plug fires the gasoline with obviously a spark, and it'll actually create a little explosion, push the piston back down, and then the valve will open on the exhaust side to let those gases out, and then that whole cycle repeats. That's how engines work, internal combustion engines work. This article in particular really touches on VVTI VVT, variable valve timing, and how it's kind of evolved, because there are different variations of variable valve timing. The kind of, I wouldn't say first generation of this was really the Tivis that we had installed on the AE86, but that is even more primitive because a lot of that was based on, I believe, hydraulics, where some of these were more kind of electronic too as well. So I'm going to try to keep this in focus for you as much as possible in frame as well, so that if you want to pause this, you can go ahead and read it to your heart's content. Use Google Translate, use Google Lens. I'll also bring it closer too, so you can read that too if that's easier. But you can see the different models where it kind of got introduced. I mean, this is the silver top engine. I believe it looks like silver top. It's kind of a weird photo, but there are different variations of generations of the 86 that people put these engines in their vehicles too as well. Obviously, here's a Celica down here, and then they talk about VVTI and VVTLI too as well, and how they kind of went into the Altezza, the 3SG engines too as well, to really improve performance, gas mileage as well. You can see the famous Beams engine that they have right here that people want and desire, and 3SG engine. There are the 3SG TE, which is a turbocharged version too as well. But you can see that it's a dual VVTI. Did come in the Altezza, which was obviously the Lexus version here, which was the IS300 in America. Still very sporty car. Wish I kind of got one of these. I remember just personal story. I saw one for sale for like $6,000, and I was just too late. I would have probably bought that vehicle if I had the opportunity, but got snatched up right under my nose. Yeah, go ahead and pause the video and read that if you'd like. But really cool to see how Toyota engines have evolved during this time period. They still, I believe, produce VVTi engines, but not nearly as much as back in the day. Cool. All right, so the next section is the Celica Camry. You can take a look at that. Let's take a look at the picture first, actually. I don't know if this is the first gen Camry, but you know, the Camry is, as a vehicle in America, has been one of the most popular and fastest selling Toyota vehicles, just for the fact that it's economical, it lasts forever. People really, really like these vehicles, and you know, they hold their resale value. The first gen ones here, I guess this is a Celica Camry. Don't know too much about these other than, you know, this is the first variation that they had in Japan, I'm assuming. But yeah, go ahead and let you read up about them all you want. Yeah, and the Camry continues to be a vehicle that is popular in America, just for the fact that it is economical, stylish, and you know, a sedan, and again, still retain their value to this day, even the old ones, almost the old ones, even more so now. Okay, let's take a look at the part. So yeah, as I mentioned before, this is a back panel part that is going to be where the passenger would sit in the back seats, but also looks like we're going to be doing some seatbelt routing. We're building a seatbelt there, and we're doing some routing here. Almost the shoulder harness, it looks like, too, right there. And looks like we're also going to be installing it too. So take a peek at that. Okay, yep. If you can see where it goes, right there on the back corner. All right, so let's get started. Okay, starting out here, we've got our seat belt. It looks like you can see the kind of a buckle attached there. Let me make sure this is in focus for you. There you go. Take a look at the buckle there. Looks pretty good. And this is just a piece of stamped metal. We've got actually the back panel piece right here, and it looks like it's just going to be connected with some screws. This is plastic, so it feels pretty good, and you can see it's stamped L for left side. We've got the other part here. It's going to fit right in there. Stamped L as well. Let's see here. Let me grab this in here because it looks like the other part of the buckle is in here. There. Looks like piece of the buckle too, right there. I guess it's the shoulder strap part. That's going to be kind of lined up there, and we got some AP screws. All right, let's get this set up and get going on the part. Okay, starting off, we're actually got the buckle here, and I want to point this out before we really get started, is that you can see what it is. It's kind of almost like a piece of ribbon, and they folded it over and then kind of glued it together or melted it together. Now, what they call out is that there are two sides here, right? You've got the side that is folded through here. We want this side that with the fold facing us, just like that. And then we're going to be taking this extra piece here, this extra buckle here, and we're going to be feeding it through this loop right here, front one, and then grab that, and then feeding it back out this direction here. And then from here, we're taking our ruler and we're going to be measuring out. Yeah, okay. So we're going to be measuring out 8 centimeters from this buckle. So we got it. Let me just make sure it's in frame for you. And I'm just double checking the work here because they want it to position it just right here on the edge of the buckle right here, and then the back edge of this buckle right here up to the 80. So let's move this up. Ooh, pretty close. Okay. Right there. Let's move this back a little bit. That's pretty money right there. Yeah, that edge to that edge right at the 80. All right, perfect. Then we're going to take this buckle part here with the little nub outside, and we're just going to slide this in through here. The back, and that is just how that part is secured. Just like that. Cool. Okay, so then we take this piece here. And we're going to hold it in this orientation, just like this. And you can see we've got a slit here, right here, and we're going to be feeding this through both sides. So we're going to go here, down here. I'm going to pull this through. See this right here. If I could see that before. There, here, and then feed this through right here. Okay. And then there, we're actually going to tie a small knot, just a small overhand knot. I want to double check and make sure I'm doing this correct. Before I cinch this down, I just want to double check and make sure we're all good. Yep, that looks good to me. So we'll cinch this down. Make sure this is nice and even too as well. So kind of something like this. Make it a little bit tighter like that. Just pull the knot down and then tighten it down. And then pull this back out this way. And then we're going to take our red panel piece here and kind of clamp it in place. Just like this. Let me zoom out just a little bit so that you can see all this. So we've got the knot in here. We're kind of clamping it there. Shoving this. I just want to double check to make sure the knot's kind of not in the way of anything, any holes or anything. I'll pull it out just a little. Okay. That one seems to be, let's see, do I need to pull it this way a little bit more? Because it looks like we have an alignment mark right here in the corner. There's a little hole and peg. I want to make sure that we're getting it set nicely. Cool. And then we're going to take this and some AP screws and lock this guy in. And we've got that set up. Looks good. That's a little concerning how there's kind of a little gap there. Is it my knot, or I thought I did that properly? It looks like it. Maybe I need to have pushed this down more. Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. It's actually supposed to come all the way down this way. So let me redo this real quick. Undo this one. That's all I was like wondering. I was like, why is this so not supposed to be like that? Okay, so let's try this again. Let's try to do it without having to unscrew everything, but it looks like I might have to. Okay, so this actually has to go down to here. Can't see that. Make sure it's nice and flat. Push all the screws out and screw them back in. All right, that looks a lot better now. Look at that. Cool. Next page. Okay, let's go ahead and we got to get the other part of the model out. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, got the model back. So we're actually going to be putting it right there at these holes, and this is going to side right there. It's going to hold just like that. What I've got to do is grab AP screw, get that ready to go on there. Flip this up on its side. Get these aligned just like so. Make sure I'm hitting the holes. Well, that's semi-tight. And then I'll grab another one. Okay, that is locked in for that one. All right, so on this side here, we're actually going to be taking this loop side. Hold on, I just want to double check and make sure we're doing this correctly. I think we're taking this loop side and putting it down just right here, I believe, in here. And then I believe this part, I don't know where this goes. Actually, let me double check the instructions real quick. Okay. So it looks like we're going to be looping this down here. And I just want to double check the orientation because it's actually this piece that's going to go in here. So this one goes down inside of here. I don't know how you kind of squeeze it in. I guess pry it open and insert it. Just like so. I also want to double check and make sure I've got this flipped up the correct way. Kind of looks like it goes this orientation about. And then we just gotta slide it into this part right there. Squeeze it down, and that should be locked in. And I'm assuming there's going to be another part where we have the belt buckle to an extent like that, because we still have this piece that needs to get locked in. But I believe, ooh, that came off. That these are the seat belts for obviously the passenger, and we don't actually. I think they said that you didn't even need to do this if you actually did the racing bucket on this side. So you just completely remove this and disregard this portion too as well. But that is part number 72 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. Want to thank you guys for joining me today in this little piece. Let's take a peek at it real quick. So you can really see the interior, especially now the back part filling out. What's really cool about this piece in particular, that if you ever sat in the back seat, this is a perfect place kind of for your arm. So if you're sitting in the back seat behind the, I guess this would be the driver's side, but passenger side here, you're able to kind of rest your arm right here. It felt really good to kind of just have your elbow there. No cup holders, for a lot of these old 1980s cars, but it actually was a nice cutout for your arm, so you actually could, have a little bit of comfort. But that is part number 72 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. I want to thank you guys again for joining me today. I know that was, again, quick part, but you can really start seeing the interior start getting filled out too as well. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe. Really helps the channel grow. And without further ado, let's take a look at the next part. And we're going to be doing a lot of these where, it's two parts. This is the second part, the other side. So stay tuned for that in part number 73. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.